Hi folks, Darren Chang here to do a first look of a pretty neat bag. This is a messenger bag, although I would call this a soft-sided briefcase more than a messenger bag. And it's made by Greenroom136 out of Malaysia. You can get these bags custom designed as well. You can buy them straight off the shelf, but it's really way more fun to get these things custom designed, and it doesn't cost that much more, so it's probably worth it. It does take a little bit of time. If you're in the States and you want to order one of these things, you got to be patient. It's worth the wait, but you got to be patient. You'll put in the order, and then it'll take some time for them to mock up and then to actually build it. But the folks at Greenroom136 are incredibly great to work with, and I've had an awesome time working with Patrick on a couple of these of his items. As you know, I recently did a full review of his Rainmaker 2.1, which you can see right there. Love that bag, and my guess is that I'm really gonna like this bag as well, because he really does put together super nice bags that are very well built. So what you're seeing right here is this is a custom build, and you know it's a custom build because it does have the 3 different panels. It goes blue, black, blue. He has different ways of configuring this. You can even have 5 panels going across. And there's all sorts of different things that you can do to customize your pack. It's worth it to go to the Greenroom136 website and take a look at, it's called the Wildcard Mission Attache Custom Build. And you'll be able to pull down a whole bunch of different menus to change things around and really make this bag your bag. So let me show you around the outside of the bag first, and then we'll look at the interior and see what sort of options there are there. The shoulder strap itself is nice and wide. This is a good, it looks like a 2-inch belt. This is the same sort of material that you would see in seat belts in a car. And it does have a slip lock, allowing you to very easily lengthen or shorten and this shoulder strap, which is super handy when you're putting this on and off. So typically when you have it off, you want to have it fairly long so that you can get over to your head fairly easily. And then once it's on your head or over your head, you want to cinch this thing down. When you're doing crossbody, you don't want this thing to sit down sort of at your butt. You really want it to be up higher. It's a lot more comfortable and it moves around with you better. And so you can see here, the way I have it right here, it's at a diagonal. That's how it should be, more at a diagonal rather than having it in a traditional messenger bag style, which is often sort of in a horizontal level. This is far more stable and way more comfortable actually to have it in that sort of diagonal slant like that. You can see there's a way to sort of keep this from being too much webbing hanging off and making it look like a mess. You can see here in the front, it's nice and clean. On the side here, I have here built in, oh sorry, you can see a little schmutz there. I have a customized water bottle, and then on this side I have some MOLLE webbing in case I wanted to attach a pouch, either one of the Greenroom136 pouches or anything, basically any sort of MOLLE-based pulp pouch you can put in there. And if you flip this over, by the way, the one that comes straight from the from Greenroom136, that's not customized, will have this MOLLE on both sides, so on here as well as on here. Flipping around to the back, you can see here that it has padded areas here that will be right up against your back. It's also mesh here, so it's going to prevent you from building up too much sweat here and getting your back all wet, which is a nice thing, so really well thought out there. And there's a secret pocket here that spans this entire panel that you can see here. The mesh panel, padded mesh panel, is a giant sized pocket. Now you could easily put boarding passes, your wallet. I tend to keep my wallet in here because it's nice and safe. Any sort of travel credentials, passports, etc. could go in there, and nobody would know it was in there. And particularly since it's up against your back, if somebody tried to pickpocket you, you would know it. Maybe you wouldn't. Pickpockets are pretty good, but it would be at least decrease the probability that you would get pickpocketed. Notice here too that there are some plastic D-rings here, and these are going to be handy if you want to lash things to your bag. I like to actually hang my keys sometimes from here that I'm constantly using to get in and out of buildings on campus. Another D-ring up here, another one on this side as well. Notice too how these things are attached. It's not coming straight out of the side of the bag here. This is towards the back of the bag, and they're pitched at an angle, and that's what allows this to work much better as a crossbody bag. Looking at the top, you can see there's these two generous handles here that come together. I mean, they stay up because they're fairly stiff. This allows you to really use it as in a briefcase style, and I use these constantly. When I'm not throwing this over the shoulder and I just need to move this quickly, it's really handy to have two handles which keep this whole thing centered. So I love these handles. And again, made out of the same material, this seatbelt material, folded over and stitched so that they stay open or they're easy to grab onto. Note that the zippers here are YKK number 10s. These things are some of the beefiest zippers you'll find on any pack. And they have water guard zippers here. Now what's interesting is Patrick has told me that it's slightly different. The type of water guard zippers that you see in the US and in Europe, they have sort of a shininess to them. And so it's more obviously going to be more weatherproofed. In this case, they look kind of just like reverse coil, but Patrick says that these are water guard. I haven't really tested that out, but and I will for the final review. So you can see here, let me go to the front panel here. I'm going to unzip this guy. And this only opens the width of the bag here. And inside of here, you have a key loop here, another D-ring. And then you have a large pocket, another large pocket on the opposite side, and two really generous sized pockets for pens. I mean, you could fit 2 pens in each one of these 2 pen slots. And then the rest of the bag is just a big open slot. Notice that this thing is fully lined, and this is a nice lining. We're not talking about a cheap nylon. This is a really heavyweight nylon that many pack manufacturers use on the outside of their packs. This is 1000D Cordura on the outside, which is coated on the inside for water repellency. So these bags are bomb-proof. They'll last you forever. You'll be able to pass these down to your kids. All right, so nice pocket here, nice and generous. And importantly, note that it actually has its own volume. So it's not going to be competing. If you put something in here that's three-dimensional, it's not going to push into the main compartment. It's going to push outwards to fill the actual compartment itself, the volume of this outer compartment itself. Okay, so into this slot. And by the way, this water bottle pocket, that is, again, it's a custom water bottle pocket, easily holds the Hydro Flasks that everyone uses these days. Not sure exactly what the number of ounces, maybe 24 ounces, but fits in there, not a problem. And then into the main compartment itself, lots going on here. The major compartment here there's not a ton of room here. I wouldn't be able to, for example, fit a camera insert, right? It's a little too narrow there, but you can get the larger size ones, which do open this up quite a bit. This is mostly dominated by the sleeve that's going to hold onto your laptop. So what's neat about these things is that this is a laptop sleeve that's actually Velcroed in. So if you don't want to carry your laptop with you, you just remove this whole thing, kick it out of here, and now there's plenty of room for a camera insert if you want to use it that way. Otherwise, you leave this in, Velcro's up against the wall, and it does a really nice job. And in fact, it sort of creates another area back here into which you could potentially place a small iPad, not one of the 13-inch iPads, but a 10-inch iPad would fit back in there. You can easily fit a 15-inch MacBook Pro. Let me show you what it looks like to put in a 13-inch MacBook Pro. I'm just going to reach here and grab mine. No problem, right? So you can it probably would fit the new 16-inch MacBook Pros as well, but piece of cake. And this has the corduroy around it to protect it. Just in front of here, you have a file folder pocket, and this easily fits the letter size ones or even A4s. I sometimes put my iPad, my 12.9-inch iPad into here, although there's no padding here, so sometimes I just put it together. This is such a big space. I can easily fit both my 13-inch MacBook Pro and my 12.9-inch iPad Pro. And then you can go ahead and cinch this up with this Velcro strap here, although I typically don't do that because it's just an extra step I don't want to have to deal with. And then in front of here, there are 2 large pockets, super generous sized pockets here that can fit any number of things. No doubt this would fit your charging block for your MacBook Pro, batteries, I mean, multiple things you could put in here. And notice here, again, fully lined. The seams here are all taped and sewn. I mean, this thing is so incredibly well built by Patrick and his staff over there at Greenroom136. All right, so there you have it. I don't think there's much more I need to show around. It's a fairly simple thing. A couple things, actually, I guess I should tell you. This strap is removable. You can actually, if you want to take it off, you can. And there are a couple different options that you can customize for the type of shoulder strap that you want to use. And as I alluded to earlier, the exterior of this thing is entirely made up of the heaviest weight Cordura. I mean, it's a 1000D Cordura, which is incredibly abrasion resistant and tough as nails. In a couple weeks, maybe only a week, I will do a full review of this Mission Attache from Greenroom136. I will tell you that I have used it for about a week already, and it's working out pretty nicely for me. I'm not a huge fan of single strap options for carrying my stuff. It's not as comfortable to me as a full-out backpack. But if I were to go single strap, this would be certainly high on the list of choices for something that I would take and use as an everyday carry. All right, take a look at my other reviews over here. Subscribe right here. And be on the lookout for the full review of this bag in the future. See you later.